Hey guys, it's Josh here and I'm so excited to be making this video since this is the overview of my next custom content stuff pack, which is the SIMKEA Furnishings stuff pack. If you couldn't tell from the name, this is a set of furniture inspired by IKEA and simple modern furniture in general, because if you know me, you know that I absolutely love modern simple furniture like the ones from IKEA. They probably won't surprise you that I make something like this, but anyway, before we begin, I'll let you guys know now that in order to be able to use this pack, all you'll need is the Sims 4 base game. The download link for the pack will be in the description below. Anyway, let's just jump right in. Starting off in the bedroom, you get 2 beds, 2 end tables, 1 small dresser, and 2 linen cupboards which function as dressers, which go nicely in the bedroom as well as the kitchen, since these cabinets do actually share the same style as the kitchen counters, which we'll get to see later. And over here we just have a selection of the swatches. So basically every object in this pack have these swatches to pick from. Some do have more, and I will show you guys those additional swatches when we get to them. Yeah, basically every object has these swatches, so I won't be going through the swatches of all the objects since they're basically the same. Anyway, let's just move on to the next room. Here we are with the general wall-mounted furniture. So first off, you get this leaning desk which leans against the wall and has some clutter slots. A set of wall-mounted shelves, so this one is empty with clutter slots on both levels. This one has a front panel and you can place clutter on the top. And this one is actually a functioning bookshelf which has a clutter slot on the top as well as a small clutter slot in this gap right here. And you also get a large mirror, since we don't have enough of those large mirrors like this in the game. If you ask me, the closest one that I can think of is the one from Seasons, and I believe that is a little bit less wide and you can't adjust the height like so. And every other large mirror in the game are either very tall like this or like this big, like full height, which is kind of a bit big for me because I rarely ever use windows this big, because these are probably more suited for like a gym or something, or a home gym, which I rarely ever even build in my game, so I don't really use that often. And then lastly, for the wall-mounted stuff, we have some artwork which just has some swatches which change the color of the circle, and then another selection which change the color of the frame. Moving on into the dining area now, 2 chairs and 2 tables are included. The main reason why I wanted to make these square tables was that I thought we needed larger square tables in the game, because the only square tables we have are these ones and they are small. I'm pretty sure something like this doesn't even exist in the game yet, so it's quite unique that it's an 8-seater that's a square table, because the only 8-seaters we have are these ones, which are really long. And even this one's sort of unique in that it's a 4-seater that is larger than every other 4-seater in the game. And another bonus that comes with a larger table is that you could use, or you can place more computers down without it becoming really weird. I'll show you an example, because if we tried to place down the same computer on one of these tables, we end up getting a tic-tac-toe table going on instead, which is kind of a bit strange. Into the bathroom now. The bathroom has a counter set with a matching sink, a mirror, as well as a bath, toilet, and shower. And the interesting thing about this shower though is that it's got no back wall to it, so this is intended to be used in the corner. But since there's no back wall to it, you can actually customize the wall to whatever you like, to be honest. So you could even do weird things like putting wallpapers like this, but it is so that you can kind of pick the tile that you want separate from the entire bathroom, because one thing that I really wish that we could do was to customize the tiles that the showers used, because the main thing that I have a problem with was that most of the showers in the game have only one wall with 3 sides being glass, and it's just really strange to me when you have the shower in the corner and you've got one side glass which is up against the wall, because that looks really strange to me. And the only shower I believe that we have in the game, which is a basic one for household use, is this one, which is one of those cheap ones which breaks a lot, and it just doesn't really have many nice swatches. Like this one, what is that? Like, it looks like it's rusting, but yeah, it's not really, we don't really have much selection, so that's the reason why I decided to make the shower that I did, was so that you can put a nice shower in the corner and be able to customize the tile and floor to your liking, because it also does not have a floor. Anyway, that's basically the bathroom stuff for you. First off, in the living room, we have a set of modular bookshelves and a TV stand that goes with it. So with these, you can use them by themselves and they'll look quite nice, or you can even put them next to each other to create some interesting TV units. And this is one of the objects that have a number of additional swatches, so you can use the regular wooden swatches, but there's also a number of additional swatches which have the wooden swatch with white shelves instead of wooden shelves. And then with this coffee table, it has wooden swatches, and it also has some swatches with white accents, so you can match them together. Like, you can use these white accents to match with these ones, or you can use the completely wooden swatch and make these two match together. Next up for the living room, we have some new seating options, which are some mesh edits of some base game sofas, which is actually quite similar to modern housewares, but I'm sure your eyes have just homed in on what you see right here. This is completely modular seating that functions like counters, so if you go ahead and turn auto counters off, you can place these sofas just like you could in Sims 3, and they will automatically fill in the corners. Alternatively, if you'd like the end pieces, just simply turn off auto counters, and you can get end pieces, and you can create some interesting little seats for not even houses. Like, you can make like a nice counter for like a nightclub in The Sims or something, who knows. But one thing to note is that with these function exactly like armchairs. So your Sims won't be able to perform like those pampering pet interactions or like those reading to toddler interactions if they are sitting on these, which is why I made these. So your Sims can talk to each other while sitting on these. You will need to use these extended end pieces and then just fill in the blanks and complete it, so that your Sims, when they're sitting on these, they can perform those interactions. And then lastly, for the living room, we have a selection of accent tables. So this one is just a basic one with clutter slots on top. This one has some glass display cases underneath, and you can place some clutter in the shelves below or not. And then this one is pretty much just the smaller versions of the accent tables we just looked at. Here we are in the kitchen now, and once again I have made a set of counters for the kitchen. So you've got your regular counter as well as your island counter, which match. And if we look around the back, we can see that the island counters have the cabinets on the correct side. And we also get some stools which actually are based off of the dining table chairs, so you can use them quite nicely together. And with the lights, we have a basic circular light as well as a hanging light with like a nice wave thing going on, since I don't think we have enough hanging lights for like above counters like this, especially in base game. We only have like this, to be honest, which I honestly don't really like. I think the next thing I can think of are like the ones from Cats and Dogs that has a really nice hanging one, but apart from that we don't have many. And next up we have a sink, which, as you can probably guess, is meant to be placed in between the kitchen counters, and it fits quite nicely. And we also just have some simple mesh edits of base game appliances. So here we have a mesh edit of London's Choice, and then next we have a mesh edit of this Hispanics fridge. So the main reason why I made a mesh edit of this fridge was because this fridge for some reason was smaller than most other fridges in the game. So as we can see, at least for the base game fridges, they all share the same dimensions, but this Hispanics one was slightly smaller, so I did raise it up a little bit. And then I also made a fridge cubby, which does fit the default dimensions of most fridges. So pretty much every fridge that's basic will fit here quite nicely. And the only example that I can think of a fridge that won't fit in here is the one from Parenthood, which has its own cubby built in. And then for the kitchen, we also have a set of retractable dining tables. So these are pretty much just dining tables. They don't actually retract or disappear, they just stay there. But I just thought it looked nice, especially if you're trying to make a nice little compact studio apartment and don't really have enough room, or don't really want to make enough room for a big dining table. You can just use one of these retractable dining tables and put in between some counters, as you can see, and they look quite nice if you ask me. And yeah, they just slot perfectly in between counters. And I'll just show you, I forgot to show you the swatches for the counters earlier, but they pretty much share the same swatches as the default objects. And with the tables, they do change color based on the wooden tone of the countertop. They match nicely as well, same with this one. And then you also have a bookshelf. So for those really cramped houses where you don't really have enough room for a bookshelf, or if you don't really want to use some of those like base game wall mounted ones or something which save space, you can slot it in your kitchen somewhere and save some room that way. But one thing to note is that although your Sims won't be able to use the chopping board on bookshelf, they can place appliances on here just fine, and you can place clutter on it as well. And then lastly, for the kitchen, we have a set of cabinets. I didn't do like the usual set because I wanted to do something that hasn't really been done before, and that was to create a set of modular kind of cabinets. So this is sort of inspired by the island living cabinets, except it's completely modular and nothing is like set in stone. So you can use just a complete set of these regular cabinets and make a line, or you can do some interesting things and like combine some of these regular shelves with them. And there's also corner pieces, as you can see, or you can use these singular pieces and create some setups where you have some gaps in between them, which I think looks quite stylish and modern at the same time. And like you can even place some clutter here, and like it just looks really interesting. Like it's really hard for me to explain it, but I kind of like how that looks. And then here's just a quick little mock-up of the kitchen just so you can see some of the stuff in action. As you can see, I ended up using the dresser we saw earlier in the kitchen because it just looked really nice, and it just sort of like frames the cabinets quite nicely. So yeah, that is basically all the stuff included in the pack. And also I forgot to mention, you also do get a set of new wall tile or wall paints or wallpapers, whatever you want to call them, because I don't think we have enough nice toned wallpapers, because we have a bunch of like, we have the white one obviously, and then we have some other colorful ones, but for the most part, most of the colorful ones, they make the skirting board a different color as well, and I just think it looks terrible. I don't know why, I just hate it so much. And we have some white ones that have the white skirting boards, but they're quite colorful, and the only toned ones we have are these two brown ones. But with mine, you get a nice array of them, and some of them go quite nicely with some of the objects we have. Also, I was originally planning on doing a tour of each of these rooms at the end, but I think I'll just leave it to a slideshow, and I will include details on how to download these off the gallery in the description. But anyway, that's basically all there is to this pack. As I mentioned earlier, this is Basecamp compatible, and a download link can be found in the description below. Also, since I think that this will be my last video for the year, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you guys so much for all of the support that you showed me throughout the entire year. I'm so grateful for all the kind comments and all the positive feedback, and it's just been so much fun, and I'm really excited to create more content for you guys next year. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy new year. I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.